What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. Decided to give you some bonus episodes to keep this running a little while longer. Don't really have anything lined up for the schedule, so I figure we play a little while longer. Welcome on back to the Nasty Estate. My name is Splattercat, happy to be your host, as always, and spread out the red carpet as we try to spread that red stuff all over the ground that our enemies are giving to us. Now, we got a decent amount of deeds right now. We also got a solid amount of crests. So now would be the time that you would either want to upgrade... Two options here. We can either upgrade our stagecoach network, which, by the way, we got ourselves a doggy bearer, which is pretty cool. We've got ourselves a Hellion, which is a good plan. The Hellions are a very, very solid class. Super fantastic, all nice to have around. The Grave Robbers caught some strong buffs, so I do enjoy having Grave Robbers around too. They are one of my favorite classes now that they've caught a couple of buffs. I don't know if it's worth it to... I gotta increase my roster size, though. That's what we're sitting at right now. Let's make the roster a little bit thicker so that we can bring in some more friends.
In this domain of the damned.
So we got Myron and we've got Veshy. Now, the Houndmaster is a pretty interesting class. Kind of a support class. Think of him as a more attack-oriented jester, I guess. He's got a lot of variable abilities. He can heal himself for large amounts, which can actually help on turns where... you're having trouble keeping up with the heals. He can handle himself just like the leper can. And then also he's got a stress heal, which, while it only has a chance to work, is a pretty solid stress heal if you use it a lot, and it can really save you a bunch of money. We've got a ton of diseases over here that we got to take care of. Now, we can use some busts to start working on this place. I think this is portraits over here. Yes, it is. I'll probably take the basic upgrades on this side. Yeah, that'll work. We'll do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Meanwhile, Turnbull can only gamble. Oh, we'll never drink. Okay. Well, then let's send her to the prayer house. Pooh Bear should be fine for right now. I don't think that she needs any money spent. Turnbull is kind of on the edge. I think I could fix it, but I would much rather... I mean, 3 pips is kind of on the edge of whether or not I'll check him in for some prayers. So there it is. Turnbull is the only one that hasn't gotten a nickname yet because I keep missing her. I keep missing her. I've been missing you, Turnbull, since you were gone away. I ain't missing you well. Hurricane. Do I want to buy you stuff? Pretty good character all in all. I may desire to do so. Inspiring Cry is not a terrible ability. I would recommend running it. There are situations where you would want to run Bulwark of Faith, but it's a runway ability. You're going to have to cast it twice before it's actually going to be that useful. Casting it once is just basically lining yourself up for a big crit. Let's go ahead and take Inspiring Cry instead. These don't cost a lot of money, and these little upgrades, I think, will help. A bit, maybe, possibly, slightly. Mama is looking pretty good. I think we're alright. I don't think I need to spend too much more money. I'd like to play it a little bit slower. I'm sure there's some things that I can sell here. That's got stun chance -1 speed. Jester's got the lucky dice. Let's go ahead and allocate those. That's a Hellion pendant. Hellion! Something, something, something. It's been a long time since I've listened to Wasp. Hellion! She loses stun resist, but she gets HP. And 15% is actually no slouch. Especially once she gets a little bit stronger and you're able to give her some better armor. So that might be alright. Let's go ahead and do let's do a low-level run. Something low-level. Possibly in the dark. With people that I don't mind losing. That can also be broken off sooner rather than later. They've all got explored 90% of rooms. The Book of Intuition is actually really, really good. That's a solid piece, and we do need more deeds. So I may go after that one right there. They're all explore 90% of the rooms, so it should be pretty easy to sprint on through here. Let's go ahead and grab some newbies that we don't care about losing. What does he got going on? Mark for death. Okay, so he'll more than likely play from the second or third position. She'll play from the third position. She's almost always from the third position. We should probably run a healer. Somebody that hasn't had a lot of screen time seems okay to me. And then our frontline character will be a Hellion, because I'd like to level up a Hellion too. This is going to be a darkness run, so no torches required. Should save us some money, I think. And then off we go. So the Weald's map is revealed, and unfortunately, this one is actually kind of a medium-sized short. This is about as big as the short ones get. So we'll have to sort it out. Luckily, we have two characters in our party that are going to be alternating marks and getting stuff done. So between the two of them, they should be able to DPS strongly enough to kill just about anything that gets in our way. I do like the Arbalest, and this is my favorite color set too, where she's got like the gold breastplate. I like the way it looks a lot. Her panoply, it looks pretty badass. Hopefully these guys don't have any... Ooh, I don't know if I should waste a shovel on that right now. Well, we did say that they were like throwaway characters though, so like if they end up... The only one that I really care about is the Vestal. She can stay on board. Everybody else is kind of expendable at this point. We'll go ahead and get rid of that spot right there. This is going to be a darkness run, so chances are this more than likely won't go very well. You got to be careful when you go into ones like this. We're going to try and go around any barriers that they put in front of us. Our scout checks were not super successful. We can use that on that right there, though, to get a little bit more food. 10 of it, in fact, which is enough to pretty much nullify a large majority of the damage from one fight. If you're wondering why they start out with preliminary stress down here, when they've never been in a dungeon before, that's actually exactly why they start out with stress. It's because it's their first time down into the dungeon, and so because of that, I guess they have a little bit of trepidity. They're worried about it. Oh, good. We started out getting scrambled. That'll be fun. He's still functional from there. She's still functional from there, so... This was never supposed to be a successful run anyways, but this is about the worst group that you can pull down here without being in an actual curio room. These guys over here, they are troublesome. They are quite troublesome. I'm going to start out with a mark on him. And the goal here will hopefully be... She can't really do much, but I'm going to start with Illumination, and that'll do a little bit of damage. I'm going to have her move forward, and hopefully we'll shift people back to where they're supposed to be by the time we get about halfway to, you know, 3/4 of the way through the fight. Sniper shot to the back, it should do increased damage, plus 25% versus marked. Unfortunately, their damage quotient is so low right now that it's going to be tough to rely upon. I'm going to throw a flashbang at her. That may scramble. Okay, well, it blocked off her turn, so that works out okay for me. I was hoping it would scramble her up to the front, but sometimes you don't get what you want. It still nullified one stress-gaining enemy, so that'll be okay. I will fire that at you. There's 10 damage out. That's a pretty solid hit. It's a hit to be considered. I'm going to start scooching her on back. And on the next turn, I'll probably scooch him on forward. We just got a lot of stuff that needs to be handled. Iron Swan to the back, but it's going to miss. Iron Swan is actually one of the best abilities you can have on your Hellion. I don't run a single Hellion without it. It's one of the rare abilities that allows your frontline guy to hit a person in the back line if you really, really need to. And so it can be helpful in that case. Let's go ahead and mark her up then. And it's going to take us a bit to get people back into position. It scrambled them up good, didn't it? It scrambled them up real good. Just run that for right now. It's not much, but it's something. We'll throw Iron Swan on the back. There's 9 damage out. She should be able to rectify our current situation with this lady pretty shortly. I need to scooch her back a little bit more. But that's a job for a time once we've eliminated all the enemies. Surprise attacks are one of the nastier things that's going to happen. As your light level goes down, you get way more loot. The downside is that even though you're getting way more loot, you get more crits, but then the enemy has a chance to surprise you, which becomes pretty nasty, actually. All things considered, it can turn out pretty poorly for you. Let's go ahead and we'll use Sniper's Mark on him. If you've got characters in your party that run Mark, you should always keep a mark up, especially against anything with high prot, like these little guys right here. We've got a bit of recovery that we've got to do. First fight did not go according to plan, but we should be able to recover pretty easily as long as we drag this out a tiny ways. I'll start running AoEs from here on in. And we should be able to solve these guys pretty quickly. Now, with that, that'll go to there. Perfect! A crossbow right to the chest. Fight could have gone a lot worse. Fight could have gone a lot worse. Any fight that scrambles you, it's troublesome because it essentially nullifies your first couple turns if you get a really, really bad scramble. It depends how badly you get scrambled, but depending on where you get scrambled to and from, it can really, really, really mess up your first couple turns. And if the enemy does not get moved around at all, that is unfortunate. She's got Divine Comfort too, so I was hoping for a 3 right there. Go ahead and, oh, she critted him. Alright, I didn't expect that. We got plenty of food, so we'll recover from this. Don't worry about it too. Oh, we got another shovel too. That'll be nice. That offsets some of the problems we had to deal with there. And so I'm going to use all this extra food just to get people back and tapped back into the adventure, because that was a pretty rough first fight.
And now, the darkness holds dominion.
The darkness does indeed. We got to do 90% of the room, so we might as well hit everything we can. We got an unseen trap right there. Little disappointing. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that blight because I don't want to go into any more fights in the dead of the night without all of our stuff where it needs to be. Crate's empty right there. It's meant to be said anyways that if you run these at night, you know, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get good stuff. So I'll add that here. That actually raised our light level. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to go ahead and put a mark on him because he's got to go. Depending on our speed rolls, we may still catch blanket fire, and then he might also get to go in front of us too. Looks like we're okay though. Start off with Iron Swan, which will soften him up slightly for hopefully the kill, which we did fish out right there, which is great. I don't really like fishing that much, but when I do go fishing, I would prefer shank to the back line for a lot of damage. And that was non-crit. It's one of those attacks that is troublesome. I'm going to start off on him with a mark because we'll get rid of him quicker if I do. She doesn't have her healing ability, which is a little bit worrisome, but I think it'll probably work out okay. 7 damage to the front line right there. He counts as both a front and a second line character. So no concern. Why are you guys bleeding so much? Like, your bleed resist is 40%. Oh, it's not as good as I thought it was. She has a bandage ability, but for whatever reason, it doesn't get rid of bleeding. I've always felt like the bandage ability should get rid of bleeding, but it doesn't, so don't bring it. It's a terrible heal. It's really not that good. It's like, okay, like you can make it work if you really, really have to, but... Oh, my bleed resist has been lowered. Okay. Let's see if we can fish out some better heals here. No, ooh, 18 crit right there. Unfortunately, he didn't get any of the stress reduction from it. A little bit of a disappointment, but... it functions. Big guy's now dead, so we don't have to worry too much more about bleeds. And what I'd prefer to do now is see if we can flashbang him. Not really what I was going for, but it'll work. It'll do. Almost done with the bleeds on that side. It buys us a tiny bit more time to hopefully... well, it puts him in range of Iron Swan, and then it also puts him in range of her, so it'll probably work out okay. She got her turn right before she went down with the 6 heal there. She may just yet end this term harmless poke. Oh, he can't attack from the back line. I never realized that. I learned a new thing about a character archetype today. 13 damage straight to the chest. Down he goes. Took that one to the chest plate. This would be what we want to use here. That'll give him 30. There's a chance that I think there's a chance that'll do nothing, and there's a chance that it'll give him stress reduction. And if you use holy water on it, it guarantees the stress reduction. Band-aids right there can take care of that problem. We don't really need to maintain that much food. So I'm just going to get them up to a point where they can recover and they can get things back and done. Meanwhile, the light radius is going to fall off, but there's pretty much the... that right there. Here, just turn out. There we go. Black as pitch. Perfect. That's what you get. You have a huge chance to get surprised. Although, if you're running that book that we're going to get from this right here, it actually, I think it negates that chance almost entirely. So you just have the basic chance of getting... Is that open? No, that's already been taken care of. Okay. That's why you never use up all of your food, because the game has this weird habit of after you feed somebody manually, it has a strange habit of giving you one of those checks. And as much as I like receiving checks, that's not the sort of check that I'm into. Let's get some mummified remains here. That's going to give us another 575. You know, I don't think we're going to get that good of a run. We've only got 2 hallways left before we're out of space. We run out of real estate. And the short and skinny of the whole thing is looking sort of like we didn't have that many loot nodes. Disappointing to say the least, but On the plus side, I think we'll probably only have to get rid of the Hellion and him. I mean, we don't have to get rid of anybody. We'll go in right there. She's full right now. Okay. We'll throw that in, and that looks perfectly acceptable. I'll probably keep the Vestal and the Arbalest, but I'll probably get rid of the Bounty Hunter and the Hellion. If we can't get replacements for them, let me see if I can get a scout check here. No scout check. Well, we're here to get ourselves some cash, so I see no reason why I shouldn't stop off and continue searching. All these guys are expendable from the beginning to the end, so I'm not really... There we go. The more fights we can get, the better. That was not so terrible of a shift. We'll be alright. Rabid Rush is out. Doomsay is out. These are all very, very quick mobs. So the problem that you're going to run into with this issue is that they tend to outrun you. And so they tend to take first turns and whatnot. I have a number of options right now. I didn't realize he could collect bounty from the third space, so we'll do that. If she can't do anything, we'll scoot her back. I think she may end up having to use point blank shot from right there. And I think point blank shot has, oh, blind fire, I'm sorry. It has a damage mod, but it gives her a speed buff. So sometimes it can be a smart thing to use. Other times you probably just want to have her in position where she goes to begin with and then chase it down. There's 6 health, so that should take her mostly back up to full. On this side, normally I don't condone the use of Breakthrough, and I don't think I'm going to condone it now either because of their incredible dodginess. Breakthrough has always been kind of an iffy ability because it does okay damage, but I don't think the damage justifies... the debuff that it gives her for like 3 rounds. And so you really only want to use that to end fights. Like if you've got 3 guys in a row who are all at low health, that would be the time to use Breakthrough because then you can walk 3 map tiles. And it should be enough time to get rid of the debuff that she takes in order for taking all, or the debuff that she takes in order to use the ability. Still. Actually kind of surprised nobody's caught rabies yet. A little surprising. Yeah, whatever. We don't know what's in the next room, so I'm going to try and keep health high. See if we can get a kill right there. And this is actually the opposite of what I would normally recommend. You should always kill him first. Killing him first tends to be your smartest plan. We'll go with blind fire on him. He's also a speedy, dodgy mob, so be careful. He has the tendency to go first and things of that nature. Normally I would prioritize him because he's such a big stress stacker. Leaving him alive until the end of the fight is a surefire way to end up with a stupid amount of stress. And look how much we gained from just that one fight. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Still, he's usually a priority target for me. Oh, that's all that we got, huh? We got nothing else. Got a couple curios in that haul, but nah. We'll just bounce on out. I'm going to get rid of most of these people because I don't want to pay to have them cured. It's not worth it. The plus side is that we did get the book out that we wanted, and it is a pretty powerful, fairly solid book. It's not a bad item to have on, like, maybe your rogue or on a character who's slow anyways. It's good for dark runs. We didn't get a whole lot of, we didn't get a whole lot of goodies either. Return to town right there, and it looks like we got Weald Adventure. Yep, definitely not going to be worth keeping most of these guys. That's okay, though. That's normally what I do, and that's what I'd recommend you do, is you farm short runs with full darkness. And occasionally you'll get a really crazy run where you end up with like 16,000, 20,000 gold. It doesn't happen very often, but Birdie B, sorry to say, you got to bounce. Although I'm going to wait to get rid of him until I know I can replace him. So we've got Tailboy, we got Bonal, we got Marshmain. Okay, so that's cool. We can get rid of Bosun.
This one has become vestigial, useless.
I would rather... Both of the skill sets are kind of meh. Bola's pretty good, though. It can help. Let's bring Trelly.
Shoot, bandage, and pillage. The dancing steps of war.
I don't know. Actually, we could use more healers, so Bonell isn't the worst choice. Let's go ahead and we'll scrap everybody for right now that was on that run.
Eyes and a stumbling gait. This one is no more good to us.
I think Fitzy is the only one that I'm going to hold on to just because I'm paranoid about healers a lot of the time. And so I hate it when I don't have healers.
One must know it.
I'll bring him along. I'll swap his color palette, though, so that he looks a little bit different. I think that's the default color palette. He's got solid abilities to start out with, but he's got Sidiomania, which means that anytime he sees a corpse, he's going to try and chew on it. Which is unfortunate because when you're walking through a dungeon, there's like rabbits and dead squirrels and shit on the side of the road. You really don't want people gnawing on them. A great way to get yourself some fun diseases. Still, we're in okay shape. I think that went pretty much as I expected. We'll have to decide on who we want to give some of this stuff to. It does automatically unequip the stuff that people had on them when you disband them, so you don't have to worry about doing that yourself. I have got more than enough. Well, maybe I don't. However, I've got enough right now to go in on level 2 armor. And so that's what we're going to do.
We are raising an army.
That means that people such as Dizzy D should be able to go in and get their secondary coat. I do actually, they made the graphic right here upgrade, but they don't make it upgrade on your character when you go through the dungeon. I would love for them to add that as just like an extra feature. Just make it so that as you upgrade their gear, it changes colors and becomes cooler. I realize that probably represents a great deal of work for the art team considering the way that the game is designed. But they actually, I think they are modularly designed. Like, I think the arms are a different piece. Yeah, I think they are. I think these are all separate pieces. So in that case, it actually wouldn't be that difficult to swap out. If this guy was all one solid sprite, it'd be a giant pain in the ass to redo. But if these are all separate pieces, it wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. I'm roughly... I did a lot of animation and stuff in high school with a friend of mine. We were really into Maya and Lightwave or whatever the hell that program... It was called Light... I don't know. It's what Maya killed. There was a 3D rendering program that we had back in the day. I think it was called Lightwave. But anyways, Maya killed it. And so I was pretty good with Lightwave. I was okay with it. And I vaguely understand the way that it works when you're putting together animations and things of that nature. Now, these are not 3D, so obviously you don't have to worry about rigging or anything like that, which can be a giant pain in the balls. But it still probably represents a decent amount of work for the art team. So if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to weep and cry about it. But yeah, I'd like for it to get more poofy, maybe get rid of some of these little cuts and wrinkles. Maybe the buttons start out kind of like a rusty color. They get a little bit brighter. You know, it's an immersion thing for me, I think. I think it's an immersion thing. I think I like him better. I don't like... He's got his brown pants on, so he's got the right idea, but let's keep the red bandana on him. For right now, I think that's going to be the end of our episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. We'll continue doing it for a couple more episodes. It's probably not going to stay... I mean, the game gets really, really grindy. That's my big issue with Darkest Dungeon, is that it's very, very repetitive. And so while it is a fun game and highly polished, it's one of those games where I tend to fall off with it after I play for 4 or 5 hours just because you're doing the same stuff over and over and over again. So I will see you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.